what's up, TikTok? So this is part 1 to the story time of how I did not know my baby daddy was me. All of my story times are going to be done in the car because I do not like talking about my children's fathers in front of them. So I'm about 22 at this time. I just barely turned 22. I think I was 22 for like maybe a week or 2. He was 32 at the time. I'm working at Family Dollar as an assistant manager. He comes in there, he sees me, we exchange numbers. So he comes after work and we get in his car and we drive to a park and we pretty much sit there and we talk for hours. I let him know everything, literally everything about me. He lets me know what I thought he was letting me know, everything about him. He tells me that he has 1 baby mother, he has 3 children, and that at this time she has fallen on hard times and that he is allowing her to stay in his home. He is currently staying with a friend. And I just thought that was so noble of him because I was currently the baby mother in a messed up situation, and I wish that I would have been in that situation for my child's father to say, hey, you have my children, just stay here. So I was looking at it like that, and he only said it to me like that based on the information that I had told him. So, you know, he knew what he was doing. So I didn't second guess it, I didn't question it. Oh yeah, and he told me his name was Gavin. I'm only 22 at the time. I'm not thinking, let me see your ID. That's not the first thing that I'm going to say to somebody when they're introducing themselves to me. I'm not going to ask them to see their ID. So clearly I should have. The very next day, he shows up at my job in front of everybody with a bouquet of edible arrangements and lunch from Chipotle to ask me on a first date in front of the entire store. I just completely felt swept off my feet. Right, bare minimum, and I'm over here swept off my feet. Y'all, I was only 22. Now, he planned this entire date around everything that I told him the night before of things that I like to do. So we go hiking, we go see nature, we go out to dinner. It was the best date that I've honestly ever been on, even till this day. Then after the date, he drops me off, and it then just becomes like a routine. But while we're doing this routine, he's also texting me and telling me, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my kids. I'm not gonna tell you you can't go hang out with your kids. I've never been the type of female to want a man to spend his entire time with me and not with his kids at all. So it wasn't anything crazy going on. So I just had no reason to not trust this man. From what I'm hearing, he's doing his job as a father, and then he's also making time for me as well.
I can see where she's coming from in that regard. I mean, you know, she's only 22 years old. It's a fairly young age, and you're still possibly not, you know, not streetwise in everything that goes on in the world. And you know, yeah, she said it herself that this man's making time for everyone he cares about and literally has his priorities set in order straight. You know, he's seeing his children when he can, he's going to work, he's making time for this woman here, and he's literally taking on like fabulous dates. Like, why would you not fall in love with this man? Why would you not instantly just drop to your knees and just be in awe? And obviously I do get the fact where she mentioned the idea, like if you're going to meet someone new, you're not going to, if they introduce themselves to you and that, you know, they tell you their name, you're not going to instantly ask them for ID just to double check. Oh, it's just not something you commonly do in society. Obviously there are cases where you might get this feeling where some dodge is going on, which obviously would have happened in this case, but at that period of time this woman was unsuspected of what could follow.
So then eventually I introduce him to the kids. He's aware of my current living situation at the time, so he then starts saying, I'm going to assist you with putting you up in a place, I'm going to pay for it and furnish the place and all of that. And he stands on his word and he does just that. He helps me get a place. He pulls up to the house with all the groceries in the car, and he takes half of the groceries out, that the rest of the groceries, he's taking them back to his baby mother, and that he will be back. Whew. So we're continuing our program. I end up getting pregnant, of course, and everything's good. Like, I'm posting on Instagram, like, soon to be Mrs. last name, but this is my daughter's father. So if you guys have already seen that TikTok already of me posting the text messages and her crying mother. And he ends up showing me these text messages of her supposedly calling me out my name, and I don't want to meet that B word. We're in a serious relationship. Why would I not, want to be involved with your children?
I do get that. Why would you introduce your new girlfriend to your son without actually taking them to meet your parents first? That is a bit strange, and instantly, to me, what it would be called a red flag. It's just not something you commonly do, and the fact that this woman actually stated to the man that she wasn't comfortable with that, I actually can praise her for that, because she could have easily just gone along with it and not said a word.
So I meet his son. We're hanging out, it's good, and then eventually it becomes to where I'm watching his son for him once a week. Please remember that detail, because it's going to be so important later. He's also going once a week and spending time with the older 2 boys. Those are the only 3 kids that I knew about at the time. So we're still going out, we're going hiking, everything. He's dropping me off at my job. I'm all pregnant. He's making sure I'm fed every day. He's taking me and my friends out to eat and paying for it. He's treating my mom. He's treating my family, taking us all out to eat, paying for it. And everybody's just like, oh my God, this is just such a good guy, Gavin. You're just such a good guy. Well, I then decide that I want to do YouTube. So he then goes out and gets all the equipment that I'm going to need for my YouTube channel. And he's bold enough to be in the videos, because I'm just starting, so he did not believe in me at all. He just thought my YouTube channel isn't going to go anywhere. Well, my video ends up going up. Okay, so while we're discussing my hair videos, because my YouTube channel was surrounded around natural hair at the time. So while we're discussing, natural hair and everything, he slips up and starts talking about his daughter. I'm like, wait, you have a daughter? And he's like, yeah, I told you I have a daughter. I said, no, you didn't. You told me you have 3 boys. And he's like, no, I have my oldest son. He starts naming them. He said, I have 1 son with my child's mother in another state. And then I have 1 child with the woman down here. And I've been raising her son, so I claim her son. And then I have a daughter with another woman in another state. I'm like, oh, okay, we're already too deep in at this point. Like, okay, it's like, okay, maybe, like, he's literally gaslighting me into making me believe that he told me this information, but he did not. Okay, I didn't even know that he had social media. So he's like, yeah, I post them on my Instagram. I don't have you on Instagram. See, I promise you, when I first met this man, he was like, yeah, I'm too grown for social media. Now when a man tells me that, I believe you're being sneaky, because everybody's on social media somewhere, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's Instagram, you're somewhere on social media. So now when a man tells me that, it's automatically a red flag. But hearing it from a grown man, I had never dated a man 10 years older than me before, so I thought maybe that was normal for them. I did not know. If I would have knew better, I would have did better. I didn't know any better, so I couldn't do any better. So now we're on each other's Instagram. So now I'm seeing his wife ends up seeing something on social media, and she reaches out to me. I think I'm like 2 or 3 months pregnant at the time that she actually wrote me, but I was 5 months pregnant when I actually saw it. So on Instagram, when you write someone that you're not following, it goes into a filtered box. That's where her message went. So then I started seeing brands comment on my YouTube videos saying that they want to work with me, and that is when I decided to go through my filtered box and get in order all of my brand deals that I was going to be doing. And that is when I came across her message. And I start immediately calling her a liar. It was just no way. So I start questioning her, like, how is this your husband and he sleeps at my house almost every single night? Literally, unless he tells me he's working overtime, which was so rare. We just decide to get on the phone. So we get on the phone. She sends me their marriage certificate, their pictures. They And then while he's telling her that he's working doubles and working overnight, he's really with me. So that is how he kept that up, but she caught him first because he was good enough to be on social media. So once I find out, that is when I show up to work like 3 days later with a flat stomach.
Well, you've done well for keeping up his lie, didn't he? You know, the fact that he was literally saying that he was working overtime and he was literally switching between women when he was only really working half the day just kind of shows what kind of man he is. I mean, why would you feel the need to literally see another woman and spend all your time with this other woman when you're already married? If you're not happy in your married relationship, then literally just try and get a divorce or just call things quits. Don't juggle two different relationships because it never ends well and it's not morally right at all.